Good to have you with us here on this Friday afternoon. Nate Geary in for Mike. I am the Bulldog, Paul Hamilton, who I am also sure has got like 6 monitors up in his home watching the Masters because he's such a golf fanatic. Paul just can't get enough golf. Paul joining us now on the West Her hotline. What's going on, Paul? How are you? I'm kidding about the golf.
I figured I'd be watching what you guys. I thought you guys would be watching Hallmark movies, so I figured that's what we were all watching. So that's what I've been watching.
You would assume by the mood Bulldog's been in since the start of the show that he's been watching a lot of Hallmark, but no, it's golf.
I'm not even sure what to really do with any of that. You know where I want to start? I feel like we almost never talk about Alex Tuch. I know you wrote about him this week, Paul, and the block shots, like his all-around game, and just what an excellent year he's had. And I've not really thought there was some chatter about maybe, he's going in next year's the last year of the deal for him. Maybe there was some interest. I'm sure there was on the trade market. I was never eager for the Sabres to really explore that and part with this player. What do you think a next contract looks like for Alex Tuch? Like, he's a $7 million player at this point, you think?
I've always felt they should explore it because of what we talked about this week. The intangibles that he brings, 34 goals is great, but it's the extra. It's the NHL leading 6 shorthanded goals. It's the NHL leading steals by forwards. It's the NHL leading block shots by forward, and it's almost an NHL record. He's 5 away from a record. Those types of things that he does, and the stealing. I have never seen a player that can steal the puck the way he does. He sneaks up on guys, and they don't even know he's there, and he's got the puck, and he's gone. And very often turns it into a goal or a pass for a goal to somebody else. That's how he gets a lot of his shorthanded goals. It's just, plus the leadership part of it, too. Now, I think a lot of it is sentimental. A lot of fans, you got to give him 8 for 8. The money doesn't really, I don't care about right now. It's the 8. He's 29 years old. You don't re-sign 29-year-olds until they're 37, unless they're Alex Ovechkin or Sidney Crosby or Jaromir Jagr.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't. That's bad business, because when you do stuff like that, within 2 to 4 years or 2 to 5 years, you're regretting the contract and majorly regretting the contract. And there's almost no way out of it. So it's no, to 7, 8 years, no, maybe even 6, no. I could maybe live with 6. As far as the money goes, if he got $8 million, I wouldn't I think that's somewhat of an overpayment, but I wouldn't break into hives about it either. Especially with the salary cap. Well, the thing is, and this is by no means a political statement whatsoever. I'm just stating facts. With what is going on in our country right now, maybe the salary cap won't be going up.
Right. Canada will have a lot of impact on that. The Canadian dollar, sure.
With just what's going on, that's a fact. That's not a political opinion. Who knows? Maybe it's not going up to $100 million. We just don't know. This is uncharted territory that we're navigating right now. But I would say a comfortable place would probably be in the 6.5 to 7.5. But definitely, I wouldn't be dealing in 6, 7, 8 year deals.
Yeah, 5 for 40 sounds good to me right now. Like if that makes everybody happy, okay, I think I could do that, because he I think symbolically maybe is an important player in this way, Paul. Like we talked a little bit, I think, in pregame the other night about Zucker wanting to stay and the flare that shoots up to the league and maybe its players. I mean, the Sabres have got a lot of work to do to repair their image. But Zucker, a respected veteran guy, wanting to be here, hopefully sends the right message. Maybe Greenway to a lesser extent. Zucker's just been a better player overall over his career. I think is more significant, him wanting to stay here. Tuch, I mean, he's from nearby. He grew up, wearing the jersey, playing street hockey. You probably have to keep that guy, right? So, that's why I might even be inclined to go as high as 8 a year, because you can't get in a fight with him. You know what I mean? You cannot have this turn ugly and him want to leave, because I mean, I don't want to be so dramatic to say like close up shop and turn the lights out or anything, but it would be a devastating departure if they could not reach an extension agreement with a guy that wore the colors as a little kid.
Yeah, and I know fans say why, and I've said it, why would players want to come here? But quite honestly, and it's not just players speak, there are 3 veterans that came here and want to stay here and be a part of this. And Zucker, Greenway, and James Reimer. James Reimer loves it here. He really enjoys playing with his team. And he was saying that before he starting all the games. That's back when he was backup goalie. He was ecstatic when the Sabres reclaimed him on waivers, even though I don't think he was real delighted they put him on waivers to start with. Although I don't know what he exactly expected with 2 young goaltenders around.
Right.
But he was delighted to come back. And you can tell when people are just giving you the line or whatever, but you can just see it in his smile, and he lights up when he talks about it. He really enjoys playing here. So those are 2 grizzled veterans and 1 medium veteran who have come here, learned to like it, and want to stay here and be part of it.
Paul Hamilton on the West Her Hotline here on WGR. So the win streak comes and goes. I don't know, you got a few minutes on what last night was like, because it's one of these games where I thought maybe they were the better team, but they just, a couple breakdowns, and maybe they got goalied a little bit. That Jet Greaves had himself a night. What did you think of their game overall last night?
He didn't have himself a start.
No, that's right.
Absolutely had himself a night. I mean, by the time he was done, he absolutely is the first start of that game. I think the Sabres had 35 shots in the last 2 periods. He didn't let in any. I mean, he let 2 goals in the first period, 2:45. The first one he absolutely wants back. He wasn't anywhere near where he should have been in the net. And the other one, he let Dahlin kind of fool him a little bit. Dahlin waited him out. The first goal more than the second is when he's just got to stop. But right after that, he made some great saves. In the second period, Lindy Ruff said Columbus had 1 scoring opportunity. The Sabres outshot him 18-7. And, and he was stopping breakaways. He was stopping guys directly in front. Now, Buffalo did get a power play in the third. Peterka hit the post. And Zucker had 2 great chances on the doorstep, as did Tuch. But Buffalo did revert back a little bit to what they were doing before this better play started, which would have been about a month and a half ago. And that's getting a lead and then start playing the wrong way. You can't get that third goal that you need. And you have great opportunities to do it, and then you start giving the puck away. That goal at the end of the first period was just inexcusable. You can't do that. You have a 2-0 lead. You got Benson coming in on the left wing wall. He tries to force it to Thompson, who has guys all around him, Columbus guys all around him. It got to him kind of. It wasn't a great pass. Thompson had to kind of pull into his body to get it. As he's doing that, Werenski just knocks it off his stick, and they're going the other way.
Yeah.
And probably the slowest player in the National Hockey League is off on a breakaway. But he's also a smart player. I think he saw how this was all developing, so he took off.
Yeah.
And he got behind the guy I told you that I never noticed yesterday.
Docker and Power both, yeah.
Guess what? I noticed him last night.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you let that guy get behind you? And they score with 9 seconds left in the period. What are you doing? You got to go into the locker room up 2-0. You can't give up a goal there.
Yeah, that puck probably should go in the corner.
Absolutely.
Right. And Benson forcing it in there is one thing. But on the other hand, as that play's happening, there's 20 seconds or so left, I guess, maybe, or a little less than that. I kind of want Thompson to be able to make a play there. I'm more down on the defenseman not noticing Van Riemsdyk sneaking out behind them. Those are the guys. I don't need you creeping up on the rush on that play. I need you watching your backs that late in the period. So I would be harder on the defenseman than I would Benson or Thompson. But mistakes there were made all around. But I think...
Well, part of what Lindy Ruff talks about is knowing the situation of the game.
Right.
If it's 0-0, I'm right on board with you. If you're up 2-0, that puck's got to go in the corner. You got to leave up 2-0.
I think that is the right point. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's awareness of the situation in the game. As I said, if you're tied 0-0, I probably wouldn't even have mentioned it.
And then the same thing happened at the end of the second period. They didn't get a goal scored on them, but was it Darlene that got like a stride or two short of the red line, and they got an icing with 12 seconds left.
Yes.
Now, they didn't get scored on, but it was, I think Dan or Rob made the point on the broadcast, like, no, right? You got a chance to kill the period. You've got the lead. What are you doing here? Like, take another stride and get past the red line. You can't, so they didn't learn, really. It was a different sort of mistake, but still, to me, a mistake.
And then you get to the third period, and Peterka just throws it across the blue line, doesn't get it out. Of course, Columbus picks it off.
That was
screenplay,
awful.
That's in the net, and then you got to take that penalty right away. You've given the other team momentum, and they haven't done this in a while. This is all stuff they used to do. You take the penalty within 2 minutes or less. It was less, so you take that penalty, and then you have a great chance. Byram has a great chance to get the puck out. He rims it around the wall, doesn't get it out. And next thing you know, there's a guy standing right in your crease, and he bangs it in before you knock him down. And now you're behind. And that was the recipe that they used all year long until, the last month and a half. And it was all self-inflicted. And, you wind up losing the hockey game. And as I said, they had plenty of chances to tie it, be ahead 3-0, be ahead 3-1. They didn't take advantage of those chances, but there was just too many dumb plays that they had kind of gotten out of their game that crept in for this one game.
Paul, we're just about set with the playoff fields in both conferences. I mean, there are still 4 teams technically alive in the East. They all have 79 points, which makes them 8 points behind Montreal. So, I mean, good luck. Math says someone could still catch them, but I doubt it happens. So I think we've got our field there. There could be some fluctuation in the seeds at some point, especially at the top of the Atlantic still. I don't know. There's 3 points separating Toronto, Tampa, and Florida, so maybe they're going to end up where they are. Same in the West. Calgary mathematically has a chance, but I don't know that they'll catch St. Louis, although the Blues have played 2 more games than them, so maybe. I don't know. Who do you like? I mean, we know who the good teams have been all year long. Do you have a handful of favorites? Do you think it's wide open? Like, do you think a 7 or 8 seed could win the Cup, or do you think it's pretty top-heavy?
I don't think it's wide open, and the Caps. I'm still not a believer in the Caps. I maybe Florida, Tampa, Toronto, Washington, Carolina would all have a shot at it, but I'm still looking at the Dallas Stars like I was last year.
Yeah.
I think, especially now that they got Rantanen and they have the goaltending pull it off. Unfortunately, they're going to have to open against Colorado probably, and that's not good, and that's where this playoff system is flawed, where Colorado has to play Dallas. Florida probably will have to play Tampa Bay. They'll be good series, but you don't want them in the first round. I am still, Bulldog, or both of you rather, I don't really know if you're aware what the NBA does, but this is what the NHL should do. They do play-ins.
Right.
Where you have the top 10 there. First of all, 7 plays 8. 7 and 8 are open. So then 7 plays 8, and the winner is in the 7th spot. And then 9 plays 10, loser is out, and then winner plays the loser of the first game. And then they get the 8th spot. It just gives you 3 more games of revenue, which the NHL needs a lot more than the NBA does. Could you imagine here in Buffalo if they got in a playoff, just a play-in game?
Right.
Just a play-in game.
A game with a stake. Whoa!
A stake.
What a concept.
Where people could go down to that arena, and it would sell out. Just a play-in game. And I love the fact that they do that. It just keeps interest going. You got Ottawa and Montreal, but fighting for 9 and 10. You got Columbus, Rangers, Red Wings, Islanders, all within 2 points. The Sabres are kind of right there if they were to win out, which isn't impossible right now. I mean, we wouldn't be saying it's over, and I just think it stimulates more interest. But more than that, it's 3 more games of revenue for your league, and Bettman wants nothing to do with it.
Surprise, surprise, I guess, right?
Thief of joy.
Yeah. I'm with you on Dallas. In particular, though, you mentioned that first-round matchup with Colorado, and again, it's not locked in, but I'd be stunned if we don't end up there. There was a big game last night between Dallas and Winnipeg, and Dallas got eaten up there, so they could have made a move on the top spot and avoided Colorado, but they didn't get it done. Heiskanen being back is a huge factor for them. And I don't know, the coach could just be playing coy, but all along here it's been, we really don't know if he's going to be back in time for the playoffs. And that's Dahlin not being available for the biggest games you're going to play against, of course, a monster of a team in Colorado. So that's a big deal.
Well, coaches they don't want to be pinned down anymore, because as soon as that date comes up, all of a sudden the media is crucifying them because the guy's not back. So coaches do not give you dates anymore. They do exactly what that coach does. The coach here does it. Everybody does it because, everybody just says, well, wait a minute. You said so-and-so is supposed to be back today. He's
right.
not back. You're a liar. And they're just like, all right, you know what? When he gets back, we'll let you know when he's in the lineup.
Right. I'm with you on Washington. I don't know. It depends. Right now it's tracking they'll play Montreal. And I don't know. I think if they ended up drawing Ottawa, I might feel like Ottawa's got a better shot at taking them out. Montreal's been a cool story, and they're going to get this boost from this Demidov that's showing up now. So we'll see what kind of impact he has. I would give Montreal a chance, but I don't know. Even with what I think are maybe some good fortune for Washington riding the momentum of all this Ovechkin stuff, I still think I would pick them over Montreal, but it's not a no-brainer to me.
I'd be shocked if they got a boost from this kid. He's not Gretzky. I mean, they had the number 1 overall pick, and he's just barely starting to make a dent now. What was that, 3 years ago that he got drafted? And probably shouldn't have been with the Canadians right off the bat, because he didn't play well at all, so I don't think he's going to be. But on the other hand, I would not ignore Montreal. I would not pick them, but I would not be surprised if they won the series either, just because they've been red hot for a while. I mean, for a long while. And they just seem to be able to win games when they have to. And they're on a 6-game winning streak now. So, and that's not their first winning streak of the year. So, as I said, I wouldn't pick them. But if Washington's ripe to be beaten, Montreal, I think, has the possibility. Of course, their goaltending has to get hot.
Right.
And, I'm not sold on their goaltending. But if it does, watch out for the Canadians.
All right, Paul, 4 games left, right? What do we got? Florida, Tampa, and then home for Toronto and Philly. Do I got the order right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another year, Paul. Can you barely believe it, or are you just numb?
It's just, it goes so fast. I mean, it seems like I was just in development camp in July, and here we are, the season's over again and no playoffs, and I'll be going to Rochester to go, cover them for, the 4th year in a row now. And that's fun. I enjoy it. I get to see a lot of the young players in pressure-type situations, which is good. But, that's basically all I'm watching is the younger players play AHL playoff hockey.
All right, Paul. Well, thanks for this. Busy weekend for you with the games, 6 o'clock tomorrow and Sunday. And then, like I said, back home for Toronto on Tuesday and then Thursday for Philly. Thanks a lot for this. Have yourself a weekend. Enjoy all the golf.
Yep, you guys enjoy the Hallmark movies.
All right. Some way to stay with the bit, Paul. That's Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline.
You wouldn't know anything about it.
His opinion.